All right, guys, today we're going to be looking at more pictures that were sent to me through Discord. I like doing this because these are well-constructed pallets we're going to be looking at today. And if you are a new selector, this is a great way for you to learn. We got a couple pallets here from freezer and then dry goods and stuff of that nature. So great time for you to learn. When you're in the warehouse and you see a well-constructed pallet, it's very hard to try to get an idea of what that pallet, you're just getting a glimpse of it. So here we're going to take a look at some pallets. Let's take a look at the first one here. This is one out of the freezer, and you just got a simplistic pallet here. Did not make things complicated. A lot of boxes that are the same with the steam fresh in that. And what did they do? They just alternated the cases. Keep it nice and simple. And I just want to throw this up here. So let's look at the next picture. All right, guys, on this picture right here, this is a really nice picture. As you can see, we have two rows down here that are similar, and they just tied it in, made a nice little small base. And then you got the diapers on top. I don't mind these gaps because if they would have squeezed another diaper in there to keep the gaps, to close the gaps, they're probably going to be hanging off the pallet. As you can see, they kept within the perimeter of this pallet, and that is what I preach on this channel all the time. Stay within the perimeter. We got a couple rows of diapers. We got some small boxes, some more diapers. And as you can see towards the top of this pallet, what did they did? They leaned in towards the middle of the pallet. They're not leaning out towards the outside, and that's how you have high corners. You always keep your corners higher than the inside, and you will have that product leaning inwards against each other. This pallet is perfect. If you're in a dry goods building and you throw cases similar to this, please look at this pallet because it's very well constructed. All right, guys, in this picture right here, this is something a little different. I'm not 100% sure what kind of warehouse this is, but these are bigger boxes. When you get the bigger boxes that do not line up and you cannot layer stack with, this is how you want to do it. All right, you get into the column stacking a little bit more, and you tie in when possibly you can. I told you you'd split your pallet into fours, and you're almost like building four separate pallets, and then when you could tie in, you can. As you can see right in the middle of this pallet here, the bigger, longer boxes, what did he do? He or she, I'm not even 100% sure who sent this, but they tied in the one side over here to this side. So that is very nicely done. So if you're building these type of products, this is how you want to do it. All right, bigger boxes that don't match up, columns, tie in when possibly that you can. So let's look at the next pick. All right, guys, I'm not even 100% sure if this is the same product or not, or if the same person, but we're looking at another picture of bigger boxes, column stacking, tying in when you possibly can. Those boxes that are in the back right here, these things are huge. All right, so that's a perfect corner, nice big boxes on the corner. And then the front, they tied that in real nice. So basically they are leaving this part alone, and they are going to try to tie in the front of that pallet as much as possible. And that's what they did. There's no reason to tie in this back column because the boxes are huge and it's not going to go anywhere. They spent the time trying to tie in the front two columns. Perfectly done. Another well-constructed pallet. All right, guys, this picture here is from our dry goods building. Someone sent me this from down below that they constructed. Guys, a lot of small cases on this order. They did such a good job. As you can see on the back, someone in Discord did send me pictures of their canned goods, and they were sort of getting in the habit of column stacking. The back of this pallet where you see all the canned goods as that base, they have them nice and tied in layer by layer. That's what you want to do with canned goods. And then everything on top of that, they almost, to the nature, they're almost column stacking because things are starting to get stacked straight up and tying in when possible. When you have a nice solid base, you can get away with stacking the rest of that pallet the way it is, the back pallet we're looking at. Now the front pallet, once again, guys, you got the water, you got some Arizona tea and things to that nature, and then he got nice boxes on top. Now, someone mentioned something about the Arizona teas, how they're open on top. What he did right there, sorry, I'm just going to bend down. It looks like a Bizquick box on top. You want to put a box that's either equal to that Arizona tea or bigger than that Arizona tea. You do not want to have a box sitting on top of that Arizona tea that is smaller than the opening in that box, because then you're going to have problems. And I think that's what he was trying to ask me to explain on the video. So anytime you're stacking on top of these Arizona teas that are open or like boxes, you want the box to be equal or bigger than the Arizona tea box. That way you're taking that surface and now you're giving yourself something to build on. And with these seltzer waters and stuff like that, I hate them. They're horrible. These are hard pallets to build, but I feel that he did a heck of a job constructing these pallets. All the salad dressings on top. Very nicely built pallets. All right, guys, so the last picture I want to show you is this one right here. Just another very well-constructed pallet. Let's start all the way at the bottom of this pallet. You got white cases that are nicely spaced across the bottom of the pallet. I tell you all the time, I showed you my juice pallet, space them out. People like to keep boxes. They think they're building a solid base whenever you keep things solid together. Do you ever see a house on stilts? Okay, so that's the perfect example. I always tell people, you see a house on stilts? All right, the base of that house does not have to be solid for the rest of it to stand up. Build a nice separated foundation, because if you're hanging off the side of that pallet, and even if you wrap it, but your pallet wants to lean, what happens when they cut that wrap at the store? The whole entire corner is going to fall, or the whole entire section of your pallet has a chance of falling whenever they cut that wrap at the store. Not to mention it could get damaged on the truck whenever they're loading it. All these pallets I showed you today were in the perimeter of the pallet. Nice square pallets in the perimeter pallet like this one. Nice spaced out, and then they kept it nice and solid. All those little white cases in the middle that are smaller. Even though this is column stack and they have a couple cases here and there, just off-centered on the gaps a little bit, just enough to tie it in. You do not have to be perfectly tied in every layer on these pallets, and people need to get that out of their head. When you have the opportunity, like I showed you with the canned goods, when you have the opportunity to tie in your base, you want to tie it in. But if you can't, then you don't. Like with the bigger boxes and with these boxes right here. I got no perfect pallet. Build within the perimeter of that pallet. Guys, keep sending your pictures. I love these. It's just going to help our new selectors out and help people out that are struggling with their pallets. So keep them coming. I got video coming up of me selecting in the warehouse. I'm working on that. And I am also working on a reach lift video. And I am trying, guys. I just don't get the, jobs all the time in my warehouse. I can't just go grab a forklift. We are union. So if I'm doing a certain job, I can't just go grab a reach lift and just start working on it. I have to be on that job in order for me to do it. And then I got to be up time for me to film video in the warehouse, which I'm not even supposed to be doing, but it is what it is. I promise you, I'm going to try to get to everybody's, what they're asking me on Discord. So guys, keep the pictures coming, keep the suggestions coming, and I will keep working hard at this channel. I will see you guys next time. Have a great day.